Britain's most senior commander in Afghanistan says the shape of the international force after combat troops leave in 2014 should become clear this autumn. Lieutenant General James Bucknall's message to Afghans is the international community will not abandon them and that British and other soldiers will remain as trainers and mentors. From the Afghan capital, Kabul, Rob Olver reports.
Ever since the international force ISAF arrived in Afghanistan, it's meticulously recorded details of insurgent attacks. And if there's anywhere where you get a definitive picture of what's going on in the theatre of operations in Afghanistan, it's here at the Combined Joint Operations Centre.
It all feeds here. It's like the waste on an hourglass. Everything from the regional commands below us, everything from the Afghan National Police, the Afghan Army, and also the local media.
Now a change is being tracked. For 14 of the last 17 weeks, it seems violence levels have dropped when compared with the same time last year. As ISAF slowly transfers security to the Afghans, it's an encouraging sign.
For instance, let's take assassinations. The trend on assassinations is actually down. They've been falling really quite hard since April. This does not, to me, indicate an insurgency which is in rude health, rather actually one that is under increasing pressure, and all the intelligence evidence that I see give evidence of that.
The capital, Kabul, like cities across the country, is also undergoing an economic boom. But some Afghans fear the departure of international combat troops in 2014.
The international community is not going to abandon Afghanistan again in its history. It is absolutely essential that 2014 is viewed not as an end date for this campaign, but as a waypoint in it. And at that waypoint, all that simply happens is that the Afghan National Security Forces take the lead and ISAF takes a backseat and an advisory role.
Plans for a new international training and mentoring force could be unveiled in the autumn. Its size has yet to be worked out, but Britain and NATO have made long-term commitments. Within ISAF, there's growing confidence in Afghans already running their own security, and that full transition in 2014 is realistic.
I think that comprehensive counterinsurgency, which is our strategy, is the right strategy to do it. And I think that we are on track. We should be clear to everybody that when we start the transition process, and even when we complete it, we're not saying that there will be no insurgent threat in these areas. What we're simply saying is that the Afghan security forces in those areas will be good enough to deal with it.
And even by the end of this year, the nearly 300,000 strong Afghan security forces could already be protecting half the country's population. Rob Olver, Forces News, Kabul.